Hello guys, and welcome to a new Let's Play. Today we're going to be playing some Victoria 2, and we are, as always, going to be using the Historical Project mod, which has gotten an update. I think it's a couple of days or weeks or something since the last update, but still, this is a version of the mod that I have not played before. Although I don't think there were any major updates in this, a lot of bug fixes and stuff like that. I think this is sort of new, the fact that Persia has this wonky border up here, like they own part of what is this stan called again? Well, I can look that up once we get to the culture map mode in the actual game, but I dare not make a guess in case it's horribly wrong. Actually, let's make a guess. I think it's Turkmenistan. Let's see if that's correct. Anyways, that really does have nothing to do with what we're doing here today, because we are going to be playing as the nation of Vietnam. Now, the reason for that is that I just wanted to play as an uncivilized nation, which is something I have not done for quite some time. And I have done both Persia and Siam, which has this funny name in this mod, on my own in previous days, or, you know, at some other point in time, but I did never record those. But I've never played Vietnam, so I thought it could be fun to jump in as them. I mean, there's only a limited amount of uncivilized nations that I would like to call sort of realistic uncivilized nations. Like, I don't think anybody's going to try play like, I don't know, Chitral. Like, if you can succeed as Chitral, then, you know, you're better at this game than I am, but I guess that says itself. But yeah, so that's why we're gonna do Vietnam. Also, I guess I should note the fact that I did write it in the description of the previous video I uploaded, but I do sort of want to point out the fact that I have been a bit bad at uploading videos lately. It is, as I've wrote in the description of the previous video, it's really just been because of a lot of schoolwork. I started university again, and I'm doing a much harder subject this semester than the previous one. The details is that I'm doing math, and previously I did history, and being a kind of history nerd, I was able to, I don't know, have a nice time having history at university. But math, on the other hand, is not quite as easy. So now I actually have to work and stuff and try hard. And still I barely understand anything. So yeah, that's why the videos have not been super regular. I will do my best to make it a bit better, but I really don't want to promise anything. Right, so here we are as Vietnam. Now, I haven't done much background research for the nation, because I did want to sort of have a bit of a relaxing game that I didn't, I don't know. I don't want to have the stakes be too high, because I very much want it to be, you know, or it is going to be a possibility in this playthrough that we end up getting annexed by France or something. Because I do think they get events to get land from us. But yeah, I think they can get this province through an event. So hopefully we can survive without it or something. I don't know. I can look a little bit more into the events at some other point, I think. Although I do know sort of the basics. Basically, I think it's sort of a... it's just the fact that France can get this province. They can liberate Cambodia. And I think they get other events as well, but I think as long as we westernize quickly enough, they should be able to stop that event madness. So we might get some events that make the French take land off us, but hopefully if we westernize, those events will stop. Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong with that view of things. It basically involves these Catholics that are hanging out in our country. The French want to protect them or stuff like that. Some sort of missionary event. Regardless, what do we want to do? I think we just want to invade our neighbor. But we do have a truce. Yeah, we have truce with the... I'm just going to call it Siam or Thailand. Because Ratanakosin Kingdom is kind of a mouthful. So we have a truce with Siam, but... should be able to ally Burma, and using them we should be able to beat down Siam pretty easily. So I think that's going to be our sort of early game goal. Wait for the truce with Siam to end, and then I don't know, hope at least that Burma will join our war against these guys. They might not actually want to do that. I don't know. Hopefully by the time the truce is up we can quote-unquote modernize our army a bit. Which means essentially deleting all our forces and replacing them with not shit forces. So let's start by doing that. Keep the crisis locked. Yeah, I generally play with that because that seems like it is the way the mod was originally meant to be played. I don't know though. Well, let's fund everything because it seems like we can afford it. Well, no, not really. Can we get some tariffs going? Yeah, let's go for 50%. I think it's... yeah, tariffs mainly destroy your industry, but we don't have any industry, so hopefully that's not going to be too much of a problem. Guess we'll want to reduce some of this stuff a bit then. Jesus, okay, now our economy is just absolute shit. And it's gonna get even worse when I click this button. Are we even able to purchase those goods that we need to build these troops? By the looks of it, no. Not really. Oh, there we are. We're purchasing something. Yep, there it is. So we'll work on that. We have a national focus. I guess, well, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is there even any point to encouraging intellectuals? Because you have to pay their salaries. And so the more intellectuals there are, the more we have to pay in education spending. But we can't even pay the intellectuals we have right now. So how on earth would we afford even more intellectuals? So we might just do soldiers even. I don't know, let's do some intellectuals. Let's see how that sort of affects things. So it looks like our economy has to some extent stabilized. Let's see here. National stockpile yeah, oh shit, there we go. Now we're purchasing stuff. Okay, let's just temporarily defund everything. Just to see if we can get these things purchased. Just so that these units can finally get constructing. So it looks like canned food is one of those things that you just can't be purchasing. Hopefully something will happen in the markets that will make it possible to purchase that. Wind of westernization. So this is something we obviously want. We need that research, those research points. Gee, like we have absolutely abysmal research. It's going to take quite a while for us to westernize, I think, which is bad because that means France is going to get more time to kill us, I guess. We have some decisions. Change our trade goods to not particularly useful stuff. I guess tea is pretty pricey, but I don't think coffee is too valuable. Where even is coffee? There it is. Yeah, that's not very expensive. Where's tea? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter too much. We'll have to look into that when that actually becomes an option. Other than that, we don't really have any unique decisions. We just have a bunch of generic ones. Well, I guess not universally generic, but, you know, generic for uncivilized nations in Indochina. Okay, so our truce with these guys should have gone away now. It has indeed, so now we can justify a war. I think we're just going to do an acquire state. Just annex some clay. We do get some research points for doing that, so I think that makes sense. So I guess we'll just hope that this works out. Uncivilized nation gives us a big boost to the speed at which it takes. But yeah, we actually have a 100% bonus right now. But we got busted early anyways, because fuck me. Oh well, that didn't work. Okay, so we have Casus Belli. But one thing I did notice though is the fact that the Siamese, or the Thai, are actually getting cordial with the British, meaning that it's only a question of time before we can no longer wage wars upon the these guys. How exactly... yeah, okay, so this guy's not getting sphered, that's good. Am I getting sphered? No, not really. So yeah, that's really gonna limit our expansion possibilities. I don't know, maybe we can build some boats and invade Brunei or something, I don't know. That we will think about when the time comes. So I think we're just gonna go for the biggest state, which is Isan, or the biggest state without the capital, that is. It's got quite a bunch of people, so I think that's gonna be a pretty good acquisition. We might want to look into getting a state as well that would let us get a border with that big state. Also, does my ally want to join? Yes, Burma will join. Cambodia will join. And Luang Prabang is a bitch. Very well. Let's go for Isan. We'll call our allies. Traitorous Luang Prabang. Ah, yes. Can I get your troops? No, I need to wait for a diplomat to pop up. That sucks. Should we invade, or should we wait for the Burmese to do it for us? I think that might be even better. Also, please, there we are, command units. So now I can get these units. Let's make them run off. I don't want them to get killed. Okay, it doesn't look like the Siamese are too interested in fighting the Burmese, so I guess we're just gonna swoop in here and start doing some occupations. Shit, I did not actually mean to attack the Siamese there, but I ended up doing it anyways. So that was a mistake, but we did win. Actually, it looks like it was a good idea, because for some reason half of their army just vanished. I guess they died from attrition or something? So they're not dead. I think we should add another war goal. Let's go for Laos. Because that'll connect up our provinces nicely. Yep. Actually, can I add more stuff? Guess we'll have to wait a bit. Okay, so Siam is now willing to accept peace, and Siam has actually, or Burma I mean, has actually added a war goal to get Shan, but I don't think I'm going to grant them that. Because I'm pretty sure Burma is going to just get annexed by Britain later on. So I don't see I would want to give Britain more land. So let's just do this instead. Now, I also added the war goal that Champasak be released, which is a little puppet nation of Siam. The reason being is that I don't think they're going to get sphered anytime soon, so that's going to give us something to conquer later on. Slavery. Yeah, okay, so there are actually slaves here. We are an uncivilized nation, and I do think uncivilized nations benefit from slavery. Or do they? Slavery does have a negative impact on literacy, I think. We might actually be smarter to abolish it in these states. That's going to give a lot of consciousness, though, to everybody else. Which might not even be a problem, because I think high consciousness populations are less likely to go reactionary, and reactionaries could really hurt us right now. Also, Jesus Christ, look at that border gore. That's horrible. But yeah, let us not extend slavery for once. So those slaves were just liberated. And my army is so dead. That's sad. But what are you gonna do? Hopefully it will recover soon enough. Now we need to readjust the budget. Don't need to fund the army and stuff nearly as much. We can get a thingy. Foreign trading methods. I don't think so though. I think the smart thing is just to save up immediately for foreign universities. Because that gives you the technology enlightenment philosophy, which gives you 50% extra research point. So the earlier you get that, the better, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ah, we actually gained this guy as an ally. He's not going to give us access though, so we'll have to roam around him. And he really doesn't like us. Yeah, we'll look into annexing him at some point. But it's going to be quite some time until we have the infamy to do that. Okay, so we have a foreign trading post. Which we could institute, which would reduce the life needs for our people. But it would increase population militancy, and I don't know if that's worth it. How is the reactionaries currently doing? Not that well, actually. As long as we can keep them at a minimum. Yeah, sure, let's do that. What the hell? I think we're actually going to swap around factions. We're going to go for the liberals instead. Just because there's no point in state capitalism when you can't actually build the factories. But this stuff like reduces... Actually that makes it so we can't tax people, and that's not gonna work out, is it? Never mind, I changed my mind already. I don't know, it depends if the nationalists are any better. Doesn't really look like it. No. Are they? No, they're literally the same fucking faction. So that's stupid then. I really would like that full citizenship to get the simulation, but oh well, what are you gonna do? Regardless though, I think it's about time we end this first episode, so hopefully we can actually get more than 3 episodes out of this and not get annexed by the French. But we will have to wait until the next episode to see that. I think I'm gonna post this shit on YouTube regardless of whether or not I fuck it up. I have played multiple Victoria 2 campaigns before that I never posted to YouTube because I failed, but I think for this time around I am actually going to post it despite my failures. Simply because there are so few things for me to post now, or so little time for me to post, that I don't feel like I can afford to, you know, not post a campaign despite it being a bit of a failure. So, and I don't know, it's part of the game to fail. So, we'll say it like that. So yeah, until the next video, bye.